look at the guys that are in the Hall of Fame from a defensive standpoint. Ray Lewis, Derrick Brooks. Look at all these other guys. They're trying to put in the Hall of Fame.
Gerard on the give. Here's Taylor.
Put some respect.
Busting through. Fred Taylor making a cut. Taylor is gone. Touchdown, Jacksonville.
These the same dudes that I murked every Sunday.
When my name come up, respect it. Stop playing with my name. I ain't gonna right on it.
But he knows he doesn't have a big play team, and Jacksonville does.
Draw play. Taylor skips 2 tackles. Right, and here we go. Yeah. Bye-bye. Brock Marion chasing. Brock Marion still chasing. Gets help from Smith. Touchdown. No flags. A 90-yard run.
Y'all finished or y'all done?
1010XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your hosts Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark.
All right, good morning, everybody. Fresh week here on Jaguars Today as we settle into the month of July. Hope everybody had a great Independence Day weekend, a 3-day holiday. Hope you came back with all your fingers, or most of them anyway, as far as that goes. Denmark, I think you're still 10 toes, 10 fingers down, right, on this program?
The fireworks were shooting off the pier, and I was about 300 yards away.
Oh, you were fine,
I was
then.
Plenty good.
Was like that a city-done kind of spectacle, or just some folks shooting fireworks off the pier?
It was out at Jack's Beach.
Okay.
So
you were out in the beach while this was going down, huh?
Yes,
How'd
sir.
the whole weekend play out for you? Everything good?
Man, everything was good. There was a billion people out at Jack's Beach riding the bikes from Neptune to Jack's Beach. I was out there all day Friday, went back out there Saturday night, and I didn't do anything yesterday. That was recovery day.
Yeah, you had to recuperate. You're getting a little bit older now, you know, in your late 20s. So you got to have a little recovery built into that. Denmark and I got in, what do we get, 14 holes in on Thursday?
Yeah, 14 or 15.
Dodging the raindrops and dodging the slow play out there. Man, there's an epidemic of slow golf play right now. It is unbelievable. Ken Brady and I got stuck behind foursome yesterday. Wouldn't let us go through. At least a hole open in front. It was bad. We got all kinds of soaked yesterday down in Bunnell, man. It was raining on and off all early morning and late morning and into the afternoon, and on we went. But that's all right. You know what? Not the worst thing in the world. Had a nice time with the family. My son got back from visiting with his girl up in Virginia for a week, stayed with her folks up there. So he came back. They still like him, so I guess he did okay for himself up there. We'll see how that whole thing plays out. But we're ready to hit the ground running, talk a little Jaguar football. We've got a couple of weeks before training camp opens up for your Jacksonville Jaguars. And one of the things that Dylan and I set out to do for this week is to do some comparison shopping in the AFC South. And I'll be quite frank with you, Dylan, I absolutely ripped this idea off from Helmets and Heels. I heard Lauren and Taylor going through this. I don't know if it was a month or so ago, something like that, and it stuck in the back of my mind. I said, you know what? Enough time will pass, and we will take that. I'll give them full credit for it. I once knew a guy who covered sports here in Jacksonville who shall remain nameless, and he claimed any idea stolen from him had been stolen at least twice, right? Meaning he didn't have any original ideas. He took from the people that came before him. So we will happily steal from Helmets and Heels today. We're going to take a look at the offenses in the AFC South today and breaking it down by quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, offensive line, which will be interesting because I always make sure I'm careful to say we're close to being an offensive line expert. I'm not going to claim to be an expert necessarily at anything, but I'm a lot more well-versed on some positions than others. I just think it's tough for the average person who's not breaking down all 22 film to have strong, valid opinions on the offensive line. So I don't know about you, Dylan. I relied on a lot of what has been written about the offensive line.
I did the same thing.
Right?
I kind of did for the quarterback, running back, and tight end. I went on my gut because, you know, when you play enough fantasy football, you kind of know who's who, what's what with stats. Receivers, I had to tune up a little bit on, you know, the free agent additions and draft. The offensive line, I had to do a little bit of digging.
I will say the Jaguar fandom out there who are taking part in today's polls, we got 5 polls. All right, the first one we put out, the question of the day is which team has the best quarterback situation in the AFC South. But if you click through, I just linked all the polls together. So they're all in one thread right there. You could go right down the line and vote in all 5 or vote in none if you feel like that's too much like homework. Doom, I think, was upset yesterday that I just wanted to give people a little bit of a sense that, hey, just because we're on a 3-day weekend, Dylan, doesn't mean we're not thinking about the Jacksonville Jaguars. Doesn't mean we're not putting thought into the program. And you and I had to do a little homework on this one. The fans don't. They don't have to rank them all. You don't have to tell me who the third best running back room is in the AFC South. Just tell us who has the best group, in your opinion. And I will say early on, the Jaguar fans are loving their team.
I'm voting right now. I'm like, geez.
Right?
Okay.
I mean, it's not a clean sweep in all the categories, but it's pretty close right now. But that's okay. You know what? Fan the way you want to fan. Vote the way you want to vote. If you choose to vote, we certainly appreciate that. It's a simple 1 click, or in today's case, it's 5 clicks, but it shouldn't take you too much. But we'll break it down. We'll kind of go through the room. It's not just about the starter. Like at quarterback, it's 97% about the starter. Right? You can have the best backup in the league, and I guess that matters to some degree. We thought Mac Jones was one of the more high-end backups in the league last year.
We did say that.
It didn't appear that he played that way.
No.
Right? You saw that stat we talked about last week. Warren Sharp had out there the highest percentage of incompletions based on inaccurate throws, and Mac Jones led the National Football League. Like nearly half of his incompletions were due to just throwing a bad pass, simply a bad pass, not a pass breakup, not tight coverage, not guy dropped it. And there are always going to be some of those issues as well. So anyway, we'll get into that today, and some point later in the week, we'll do defense. We still haven't come up with the Tuesday top 5 for this week, but that will not be what it is. Also today on the program, we've got Travis Kelce weighing in on how he thinks teams are going to deal with Travis Hunter, and we'll get to that coming up here momentarily. He was on the Bussin' with the Boys podcast. What is that, Dylan? Taylor Lewan, Will Compton, you're telling me?
That is correct.
Is that the regular duo?
Yes. Usually it's always them two, and they usually have some kind of guest.
All right. I rely on you to keep me somewhat grounded in the new realities, right, of culture and all this. What does bussin' with the boys mean? Does that just mean running your mouth?
Yeah, well, they're on a bus. Their podcast,
okay.
They're in a bus.
Oh, so they're bussing around.
Yeah.
They're driving around on a bus.
Yeah, but if you say the term bussin', like it usually means it's a replacement for the word good. So like I got a sandwich in here, the sandwich is bussin'.
Oh, that's bussin'.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if it's really good, it's bussin'.
Now, is that like cutting edge, or like am I going to say that to my son today and he's going to go, Dad, that was semi-relatable 4 years ago?
No, it was a word a couple of years ago, but you can still use it today.
Okay. All right. Well, whatever the case may be, Travis Kelce on the Bussin' with the Boys podcast was asked about his thoughts about Travis Hunter playing 2 ways. Again, we'll get to that momentarily. Coming up today, about 30 minutes from now, Brian Sexton is going to join us, senior correspondent over there at Jaguars.com. A little training camp preview, what Brian expects and hopes to see, and what work may still need to be done. What are the areas he is most content with in terms of how the front office and coaching staff has stacked the roster, and what areas he thinks are the ones to watch closely because he's got a little skepticism. So we'll get into all that coming your way today. I thought CBS did an interesting piece. It's funny how it works this way, right? Like Dylan and I were like, man, Tony's not here. There's no training camp. There's really not a whole lot going on right now. We want to make sure we've got some good content for the folks who tune into Jaguars Today. Let's dig deep into the AFC South. And as it often happens, Dylan, when it rains, it pours. We could have done a show just on the story CBS did today, the top 25 moments from the first 25 years of the 2000s, or the first 25 years of the millennia, whatever since 2000 until now, what have been the top 25 NFL moments. I will say this. I was in attendance in person for 3 of the top 5. That's pretty good, I think.
Super Bowls?
They were Super Bowls, yes. And 2 of those moments occurred in the same game. And, so anyway, we'll get to that, kind of roll through those. Two of them also, Dylan, have a Jaguar connection to them. How confident are you can come up with those two iconic moments from the past quarter century?
I'm confident in one. I'm still I'm still brainstorming on what the other one would
I don't know if you'll know or remember the other one.
So that's a big hint.
I don't know if you will. I'm not saying you won't. I mean, you may not have remembered it fresh at the moment it happened, but maybe, over time you learned a little bit more about it, whatever the case may be. So think about that if you haven't checked out the article yet, folks. We'll go through all top 25 moments. We'll do that coming up here shortly. It won't take long. Just interesting. I don't know if I've got any particular. I'll put it this way. There are probably a few better moments that you could put in there than a few of the ones that were placed in. I don't know what those are. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not like stumping for moment number 26 here, but a couple of them I'm like, really? That's one of the top 25 moments of the whole quarter century. Interesting. So we'll get to that coming up. Are we ready? We got a little Travis Kelce audio? All right.
I got it ready to roll.
All right. He was on the Bussin' with the Boys podcast where Taylor Lewan, Will Compton, and basically asked about his thoughts about Travis Hunter coming in to the AFC and to the NFL and the prospect of him being a full-time two-way player.
Do you think he's going to be good in the NFL?
Hell
That's
yes.
a hard question to ask because you're still active.
100%.
But what's the expectation of this
World-class
kid? All
athlete.
pro, both sides?
Both sides? See, that's the thing. I don't know how they're going to divvy it out. I don't know if because teams are going to be going after him. If he plays corner, they're going to run deep balls at him all day. They're going to run the wide receivers just take off on him all day just to try and get him tired.
Yeah. His aura, his attitude, pregame, everything.
Juice.
He's got the juice and he plays.
Yeah.
He loves football.
I saw him play basketball and I was like, oh yeah, he's an athlete.
I mean, there's nothing negative really there. It's just, I think, a legitimate question. These guys see the best of the best day in, day out, week in, week out, season in, season out, whatever you want to say. And the idea, some guys get run out like that on defense and they don't play on offense. And, it has some of that effect. But I do think there are a few things here. One, this is the least thing I'm concerned with, Denmark, is just the pure conditioning of Travis Hunter. Guys playing 110, 115, 120 snaps at Colorado. And granted, it's not against NFL caliber athletes, but you're still running. When a receiver runs you deep, you're still sprinting down the field with him, and you're doing that at a mile-high altitude. I think the lung capacity of Travis Hunter, what do they say, Dylan, could feed families? Is that
something
the
like that
expression, right? I think that I'm not so worried about, the legs. I think he's young enough. He has got that superior athleticism, and he's got that build. It's not like he's going to say, hey, let me get to the NFL. I'm going to try this for the first time. We've got some body of work here from the last 3 years. And again, I think the bigger risk is the wear and tear of the acute injuries with the larger players, bigger, stronger, faster, having to tackle those guys, the physical contact. I don't think the pure running is what's going to get him. Plus, do you think we're just going to run man defense with Travis Hunter every single time and they're going to be able to take their wide receiver 2 or 3 and just take him out of the play? Hey, let's say he's covering T. Higgins, right? You're playing Cincinnati. Is T. Higgins just going to run go routes every single time? You can't do that, right?
No, not all the time, but it's one of those things where when a play is going to go to Jamar Chase on the left side, he's running a go ball. Or even if it's a run play, the receiver is getting off the ball every time it's a go ball, just so he can burn that little bit more energy so he won't be possibly as fresh in the fourth quarter.
I don't doubt that they're going to try that, right? I just wonder how effective it's going to be. You can't, okay, T. Higgins, you just ran 50 yards downfield. Now come back and do it again? And do it again? And do it again? I mean, think of the logic of that. You're going to wear your own guys out doing that. If you think that's going to wear Travis Hunter out, I know the argument is, well, then he's got to turn around and play offense. My guy can rest. You don't see guys running deep on 2-3 consecutive plays very often. Plus, you're going to see a lot of zone. You're going to see guys being handed off to other guys. It's going to be interesting. I'm sure that there are already plans for offensive coordinators on how they're thinking about attacking a guy like Travis Hunter and how they can wear him down a little bit. I'm not saying it will never be effective. I'm not saying he'll never need a breather, ever. I'm just saying I think that's an oversimplification of what they think is going to work. against Travis Hunter. Again, just because he's playing both ways, look, if he needs to rest on offense, you take him out for a few plays, or maybe he just runs a couple of short patterns. There are all kinds of ways to do it to protect his legs. And I know the team, I would assume, is going to be careful. I don't think Jacksonville's going to throw Travis Hunter into the 95% of the plays deep end on both sides of the ball in week 1. Don't see that happening. But I think there will be weeks when he plays the vast majority on both sides. Circumstances will dictate to some degree. But, again, what if Travis Hunter's guarding on a particular play, your number one guy? You're just going to say, the hell with the plan, we're just going to run him deep so we can make Travis Hunter run wind sprints? I don't know. I think they think it's going to be a little bit easier to wear him down than it's going to prove to be, based on just the track record of what he's been able to do. Again, as a highly conditioned athlete at altitude, it's going to be hot in Florida. There's no question about it. He's also going to be training in it. And these other guys are not necessarily going to be doing that for the most part. So, interesting. But again, evidence that all things Travis Hunter are like a magnet for attention in the National Football League. Could you imagine Mason Graham being the pick by the Jacksonville Jaguars at 5? Even Ashton Genty. I don't hear Travis Kelce getting asked about, what do you think about Ashton Genty coming into the division, having to face him twice a year? No, he's being asked about a guy who's not even in his division. And that's the kind of power of the celebrity that Travis Hunter brings with him into the National Football League. So today, again, the Chad and Sandy Real Estate question of the day is a series of 5 questions asking you which team has the best quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, and offensive line rooms in the AFC South. You can vote at MD_1010XL. And don't forget my man at 1010XL Denmark.
Ain't no laws when you're drinking claws, baby.
Tony Smith's got the week off, gearing up for training camp. To be sure, you can get in today on the Checkmate Coatings phone lines at 641-1010. Same number for the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures. What are we forgetting, Dylan? YouTube Virtual Studio. You can hop in the chat there. Watch us on Facebook, Twitter, whatever, wherever and anywhere we're streaming, which is in a multitude of places out there. Or just, listen to your old-fashioned radio dial. That still works as well. So we're ready to roll. Brian Sexton about 20, 25 minutes away. We'll come back. And I don't know if we'll get through all of them, but we'll begin to look at some of those 25 great moments from the first quarter century of football here in the 2000s, according to CBS Sports. And how do the Jags factor into that? We'll get into that on the other side. I'm Mike Dempsey along with Dylan Denmark. As we kick off a fresh week, we got you right here on Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey from my friends at Apex Roofing and Contracting. Hurricane season, hurricanes form this time of year all the time. It's here. It's upon us. You want to make sure that your roof is prepared. Rainy season is no joke around here. I got dumped on a bunch this weekend. If you've got leaks, if your roof has damage, if it's just plain worn out, Apex is local, dependable. They're going to show up on time with only the most premium materials and ironclad warranties. No shortcuts, no stress, just quality work you can trust. Again, in Jacksonville Beach, that's Apex Roofing and Contracting, locally owned and operated. Visit them online at apexroofingfl.com.
The heat is on.
The heat is on.
Feel the heat.
The heat is on.
1010XL.
The heat is
As a contractor, finding reliable subcontractors is key to project success. Prosser here. Guys, that's where Lloyd's Heating and Air shines. Not just your mechanical HVAC experts, but your partner, understanding every facet of construction to keep your project on track. Lloyd's will spot issues early before they cause delays. If you're a contractor with a need for reliability, visit LloydsHeatingandAir.com. Lloyd's Heating and Air. keeping you comfortable in every season.
Guys, your lawn's the home field. Now you can champion your St. Augustine grass. TopDressing.com just hit Jacksonville with a game-changing patented process. Aerate and transform your turf into a fairway-worthy masterpiece. Less water, shorter cuts, and the envy of every neighbor. No one else delivers a perfect 10 lawn like this. Visit TopDressing.com and dominate your block with the same process that golf courses use. Top dress your lawn like the pros with TopDressing.com.
As a law enforcement officer, safe roads are one of my top priorities, ensuring everyone can get home safely each day. Some never will, due to aggressive driving, being distracted, or speeding on the roads. And too often, that results in the toughest part of my job and the longest walk in my life. I'm so sorry. I have some very sad news to share with you.
9 people will be killed on our Florida roadways today. Don't let it be you or a person you love. Buckle up every trip, every time. Let's get everyone home safely. A message from Florida Department of Transportation, Target Zero. For more information, visit targetzerofl.com.
Jaguars Today.
It's a Dream Finders Homes Monday.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I only like to recommend the best, which is why I'm proud to say that I chose Pella Windows and Doors for my own home. And now's a great time to upgrade your home with 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years of interest-free payments on the best windows and doors in the business. Don't wait. Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or visit their showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. For quality you can trust and savings you can't miss, that's Pella Windows and Doors.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about letting things roll off of your back. So often we can make big deals out of things that are not really big deals. We can allow them to steal the joy of our day. But let me remind you that don't allow anyone or anything to steal the joy of today. Go out today not letting little things steal the big things that God has in store for you.
For more inspiration, log on to stjohnthedivine.com.
Are you living with diabetic neuropathy? That pain and numbness in your hands or feet? What about chronic knee or shoulder pain? Maybe you've tried various treatments, but they've been ineffective. Now there's a solution. Dr. Ferdinand Formoso specializes in advanced pain management and offers breakthrough neuromodulation treatments for those conditions. His innovative treatments target the source of your pain, offering relief where medications may fall short. All procedures are performed outpatient with no hospitalization required. Just a chance for you to feel and live better. If you want to learn more, Dr. Formoso is hosting free informational classes where he'll explain the benefits of neuromodulation therapies and how they can help eliminate your pain. Spaces are limited, so call to reserve your spot now with offices on the South Side, West Side, and Jacksonville Beach. Relief is possible with Formoso spine and joint pain specialists.
Get the best soccer talk on the First Coast on the Coaches Show, presented by Sporting Jacks. Cole Pepper, Sporting Jacks head of soccer Mark Warburton, and Sporting Jacks women's coach Stacey Baylor discuss the beautiful game Tuesday evenings at 6 on 1010 a.m.
Keeping kids active is a full-time job for parents. Look no further, though, than I-9 Sports, covering Duval, St. John's, and Clay to get your youngster in the game. Summer and fall registration open right now for flag football, soccer, t-ball, and basketball, plus girls volleyball at Duval Charter Bay Meadows. Fields and gyms all over the First Coast, and the best thing is I-9 Sports offers sports year-round so kids can always find something to do. i9sports.com, enter 1010 in the promo code.
Need or want cash? Beach's Jewelry and Pawn has cash available. Ready to buy guitars, surfboards, jewelry, firearms, tools, and especially gold. They need it all, selling or pawning. Get cash on the spot at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Miller Electric Company. Apply today at millercareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, Dylan's back on Denmark Cam on YouTube. You can see him. I like when I can see you on YouTube. I can see you anyway through the open door, but I feel like you're less likely to goof off if you think others are watching.
All I do is just pick my nose and I scratch my butt every now and then.
Do you ever forget that the camera's on you and do something stupid?
Nah.
No? Okay.
I might stop like scratching myself sometimes, like my neck or something. I'll be like, I need to stop.
Yeah, if your neck itches, what are you gonna do? Scratch your neck. That's not
embarrassing or anything like that.
All right, what are the two, or give me the one if you can't come up with the second one, Jaguar related, and that's the clue. It's Jaguar related. It's not something fantastic that the Jags did necessarily, but top 25 moments of the first 25 years of the century. What do you got?
I'll say the easy one is the comeback playoff against the Chargers. I feel like that would be on that list because that was historic. I feel like that is the easy one. Right or wrong?
Incorrect.
Dang. So
yeah.
I didn't get none of this jump.
Most of these are like a single play.
Oh, okay. So not
they're like a
specific
moment. Now
game.
they're not specific. You know, it's not a game. It's like for instance,
like Santonio Holmes catching the touchdown in the Super Bowl.
Correct.
Okay.
That's number 5. Okay. So yes, that is one, and that's
I'll
one.
say for the Jags, the Miles Jack wasn't down. That's got to be one of them.
Okay.
That's my only. That was the other thing I was thinking about.
Do you think outside of Duval anybody knows what the hell that means?
No,
I don't either.
Not many.
Not many, right?
Like they remember it happened. Like I think you have to bring it up to them. Be like, oh yeah, I remember.
I don't even know if they'd remember it happened. Their mind. Right? Like maybe Patriot fans remember it happened. I don't know if anybody else would. No, you're thinking way too logically. Okay, like these are great football moments. Okay, number 25 on this list is Saquon Barkley's backwards hurdle of Jarian Jones.
And that just happened.
Right. And that to me. Now, listen to a few of the ones that didn't make it. Okay. Since some of this stuff is touchy-feely, okay, DeMar Hamlin returning from dying on the field. Okay. Teddy Bruschi returning 8 months after having a stroke. But put the touchy-feely aside. How about when the Saints opened up the second half of the Super Bowl with a surprise onside kick?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, wasn't it the second half? I think it was the second half.
Yeah, it was the second half.
Right? Open up the second half kickoff with the surprise onside kick. How about you probably don't remember this. 2003, in the playoffs, Eagles on the brink of elimination. Donovan McNabb converts a 4th and 26 en route to sending the Packers home for the season. That's a huge play. I mean, 4th and 26 in the playoffs to advance, basically. And since not everything is necessarily just about on field, you ever heard, what is Jim Mora famous for saying?
Playoffs.
Playoffs, right? Are you kidding me? Playoffs, right? That rant. These are some of the honorable mentions in there. So Saquon's backwards hurdle. I get it. He got on the Madden cover. And the young generation will remember it. If he doesn't get on the Madden cover, and he did, but if he didn't, the typical 40-year-old fan, yeah, that's right. He did that crazy. What did he do exactly? What was it? Oh, yeah, what? Let me see that again. Oh, he jumped up kind of backwards, yeah, and kind of a no-look hurdle. All right, so for instance, that's on there. The only other one involving the Jags, and I'll try to rip through the top 25 in the second hour just to touch on them very, very quickly because we're not going to have time to dig into them. Let me see what number this one came in. I don't even know if you will remember this, Dylan, or not. The River City Relay. You ever heard of that?
No.
That refers to the Jags were playing right here in Duval against the Saints.
Okay, I know this is going.
You know this, right? And they're up 20-13 with time left for one play. And the Saints ran a play from scrimmage, completed a pass, guys running for like 30, 40 yards. And several laterals later, they run in
Score a touchdown.
Jerome Pathon scores a touchdown to pull within a point. And one of the most automatic kickers in league history, John Carney, came in and not just missed the extra point. I mean, he missed it by several yards to the right. And this was when the extra points were just the chip shot.
Yeah, 3-yard line.
I mean, to miss an extra point back then was almost unheard of, right? Guys would maybe miss one in an entire season. Imagine that. You go through one of the most improbable plays to put yourself in position to send a game to overtime with zeros on the clock. But that's the only Jaguar presence in this list. So what I like, I agree with you. That comeback, the Jags were down so big to the Chargers. How is that not a part of it? Like, for instance, yes, Brett Favre's dad game. You know what I'm talking about here?
The Raiders Monday night.
Right. His father passed away. So that whole game, that whole performance is seen as one of the great, quote, moments. So if you can take that whole game, you're telling me the Jags comeback against the Chargers isn't bigger than Saquon doing a backwards hurdle? I mean, again, I feel like there's a little bit of the small market disrespect leaking in there. No, nobody cares about that team. It's the NFL. Everybody cares about everything. And I get it. Saquon was iconic. It was a big moment in a season he ran for 2,000, and the Eagles won the Super Bowl. But those are really your only highlights, and they're really somebody else's highlights. They're Saquon, and to some degree, it's the Saints. It was their highlight right up until Carney missed the extra point. So anyway, we'll get into some more of those in the second hour. So think about those. What are some of the top moments, games, performances of the last 25 years? CBS ranked them. You can go check it out for yourself if you like over at cbssports.com. We're going to spend some time with one of the longtime voices of your Jacksonville Jaguars, now a senior correspondent over at jaguars.com. Brian Sexton going to stop by next with a little training camp preview. Mike Dempsey, Dylan Denmark here with you. Tony Smith has the week off. You're listening to Jaguars Today. Keep it right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
We get ready. We wake up every morning ready for competition.
Just say game on and let us play.
Bring it on, baby. Come on, hit me. 1010XL. Jacksonville Sports Radio. Jaguars Today for the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios.
Firehouse Subs has fries. Your hometown hero since '94 just cranked up the heat. Hot subs, crispy fries, golden, pillowy on the inside, and perfectly seasoned. Over 30 Jacksonville locations. Firehouse Subs, homegrown and now with fries.
Chelsea here. Summer is sizzling and so are the savings at Renewal by Anderson. For a limited time, buy 4 windows in our patio doors and receive the 5th free. Plus enjoy 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 18 months. As temperatures rise, so do energy bills. Upgrade to Renewal by Anderson's exclusive Fibrix windows. 2 times stronger than vinyl, remarkably energy efficient, and custom crafted to perfectly fit. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation today. Restrictions apply. License number CGC 1527613.
Are you ready to play this summer? At the First Coast YMCA, we're committed to being your home for health and wellness and a place for friendly competition with team sports for adults and for kids. Basketball, volleyball, pickleball, flag football, soccer. The Y has something for everyone at any age. Discover all the benefits of YMCA membership and find your fun this summer at the Y. Registration for team sports and summer camps is open now. Visit fcymca.org.
Dreamfinders Homes, Monday.
On Jaguars Today.
David here with Royal Pest Services. It's back. Our summer Centricon Termite Special. New installs begin as low as $249. And if you have existing Centricon, but your renewal is through the roof, we can transfer you to Royal at no cost. Visit RoyalPestServices.com to schedule a free estimate.
Maxed out on credit cards, struggling with high interest debt? You could pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Prosser here. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan Program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. That's Loan Pronto. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is an A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and have nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call now and start the conversation. Go to loanpronto.com or call 999-1508. That's loanpronto.com.
Yo, E.T. here, and I need you to beat the heat this summer with cool escapes and non-stop fun in Clay County. Tackle indoor adventures head-on. Throw axes at Live by Axe or smash your stress away at Just Smash That. Then kick back with drinks, good food, and fandom vibes at Nakama Anime Bar or Leaderboard Arcade and Bar. Whether you're blowing off steam or just looking to chill, Clay County got your perfect indoor getaway. Find your cool at exploreclay.com. That's exploreclay.com.
He used to cover the Jags. Now he's a CBS Sports senior NFL writer.
Well, I believe you got everybody's attention.
He's Pete Prisco. Friday afternoons on The Frangie Show. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles on 1010XL.
I used to dread going to the dentist. Every visit felt like a sales pitch with constant upselling, surprise fees on my bill, and I could never get in when I needed to. But Harbor Dental Care? Totally different. They saw me the next day, gave me honest pricing up front, and even set me up with a payment plan I could actually afford. No pressure, no surprise charges, just kind people who get it. If you want to experience dentistry the way it should be, book your appointment today at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
Bueller, stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, buddy, why so glum?
Stinky ice cubes, Jason. It's all downhill from here.
What?
The tap water in my place smells kind of funky. Funky tap water makes funky ice cubes. I meet a nice girl, invite her back to my place for a cocktail, and blow my whole romantic gesture with a mojito that smells like dog's feet.
Wait, I can totally make you way cooler.
I'm not taking your charity ice cubes, Jason. I have my pride.
Your pride is safe. Our plumbers can be at your house the day you call and install a whole home water purification system. Water tastes better, dishes come out cleaner, even your hair feels better after you shower.
Ooh, the ladies love a man with soft hair, don't they, Jason?
Life moves pretty fast. If you spend every day worried about the water in your own home, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Hey, Hicken here, or just call me Dreamfinders Danny. For a limited time to ring in the new year, Dreamfinders Homes is offering an amazing 4.99% fixed interest rate. Now's your chance to lock down that rate and get in the game. You heard me right. It's 4.99 fixed interest rate on select move-in ready homes. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for sales event information and get in the game. Interest rate available on select move-in ready homes. Restrictions and limitations apply. Go to dreamfindershomes.com for more details.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Checkmate Coatings phone line.
Hello.
Your floor's missing piece. Now, more Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, ready to go as we are kicking off this week, this Monday. Brian Sexton, longtime voice of the Jags, now a senior correspondent over at Jaguars.com. Not an infrequent guest here on Jaguars Today. He's coming off a little downtime for himself, but about time to get focused over the next couple weeks for training camp to open up. So Brian joins us here on Jaguars Today this morning. Brian, good morning. How are you?
Mike, I'm great. Nice to hear your voice.
Yeah, it's likewise, brother. Apparently, you didn't hear many voices last week, right? You said you got out of town, shut the phone off, which is not an easy thing to do.
Let me tell you, it was the best week I can remember. I was out in Utah. We were hiking, and there was coverage, of course, but it was spotty, so I just decided to turn the phone off since everybody that I loved was with me, and I didn't have to worry about checking up and finding people. So I turned it off, and I would highly encourage everybody to find a week of the year that you can afford to turn the stupid phone off just long enough to get your sanity back. And it was amazing.
Yeah, and Utah is a place to do it, man. I mean, it's unbelievable. I've only been once and was stunned with how beautiful it is just driving through the state of Utah. So all those national parks.
Special place.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, well, let's hope we've got a special place and a special team brewing here in Duval. Brian, as we're a few weeks out from training camp, the heavy lifting is done with this team. I'm sure there can still be moves to be made heading into training camp. Is there a move you would have liked to have seen made? Maybe shoring up a particular position or, just moving on from a player? Something that the Jags didn't do that you would have liked to have seen them do over the last several months?
I got to be honest, Mike, as I look at how aggressive they got, the day that the owner decided to fire Trent Baalke and go all in on the Tony, Liam, James triumvirate, they have been aggressive. They haven't shied away from making moves, adding players, trading up in the draft to grab the number one rated player on their board. I really can't think of any space right now that I would have worked harder to shore up. I mean, I think most people would say, well, they could always use more pass rush. Absolutely, and that can't come to be something that we look at as we get down the road. But you may disagree that they didn't do enough in the back end of the defense and things like that. But I kind of like where they sit, and there'll be plenty of time in August to add a player here or there based on what other teams decide to do with their rosters. I'm pretty happy with the all-in mentality that they went with.
Yeah, it's interesting you bring up the pass rush, right? Because I feel like that's where we have a couple of the premier players on this football team in Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker. They did bring in Emmanuel Ogbah. They brought back DeJuan Smoot. Brian, I saw a very interesting stat a friend of mine posted on social media this morning. The Buccaneers have been I want to say top 5 or top 7. I think top 7 in sacks the last 3 years, and at no point have they had anyone with more than 7.5 sacks in any one of those seasons. So, you can do it with a more, team-focused approach. I do feel like that's one of the stronger positions on this team, though. How about you?
Well, I'm with you with Ogbah coming and Smoot coming back. I think you can count on Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon each putting 10 on the board. And maybe people don't see it that way, but, Walker last year became the first Jaguars draft pick, that includes Tony Brackens, to post back-to-back double-digit sack seasons. And I think Josh is a guy who can get there easily. So if you can get 20 sacks from those two guys and then bring Ogbah in who can give you 6 perhaps and Smoot that might give you 5, well, all of a sudden there with those 4 guys, you're looking at over 30. I expect that you'll see more up front, more push from the inside this year, especially with Eric Armstead moving exclusively back to the inside, where he's posted a 10-plus sack season in his career. I think you should be a team that gets 40 sacks with the guys that you've got right now, and maybe even more than that.
Is there a position on this roster, offense or defense, that you think is more in flux than we're talking about right now? Like there could be a guy that could emerge that maybe shouldn't surprise us, but would because we haven't been expecting that.
Well, I got to say tight end, because you're losing a guy in Evan Ingram who 2 years ago gave you 114 receptions. I know he didn't have more than 4 touchdowns and didn't break 1,000 yards, but he was just such the safety blanket. He was the guy that was always where he was supposed to be, and he was capable of getting up the seam. Brenton Strange showed us last year some things, but he's the full-time guy this year. And then Johnny Munt comes in, and they went and added a couple of guys here and there. And I know that Richard Angulo, the tight ends coach, feels good about the room, because I talked to him about it last month when the assistant coaches were made available. But that's still a group that's largely unproven, and with a quarterback who's looking to take that next jump forward, I think the tight end room is one to keep your eye on, and it may be a spot that they may dip into the trade market or look to find somebody in August.
Interesting. And Brian Sexton here with a senior correspondent over at Jaguars.com. Training camp going to be upon us before you know it, and many of the eyes will, of course, be on quarterback Trevor Lawrence. Brian, you hear a lot of, now's the time. He's got to prove it now. There are no more excuses. Well, it's still a new offense. It's a new coaching staff. And, oh, by the way, Trevor's 25 years old, will turn 26 in October. So he's not an over-the-hill guy by any stretch. But how much improvement from what we've seen, let's just say over the last season when he was healthy, do you expect out of Trevor Lawrence?
Let me tell you what I want to see from him. There were 2 plays in the Eagles game, I think, that showed us where he was at last year and that he wasn't ready to take that big jump that we've been waiting for since the end of the 2022 season. Hell, since midway through the 2023 season when they were 8-3. It was that play where he rushed out of the pocket and went up the field and dove at Zach Baun, the linebacker, who I think was All-Pro last year, and popped his shoulder, which ultimately put him on the cusp of injured reserve. And he finished the season on injured reserve. And in the fourth quarter, should have gone feet first. And in the fourth quarter, after they battled back, they were in a position to win the ball game inside the 20-yard line with less than 2 minutes to play. And on first down, Mike, first down, he looks to his right and sees Brian Thomas Jr. covered, Ingram's covered, and then throws the wheel route to the third-string running back who's covered by Nakobe Dean. Interception, game over. If he is going to become the franchise quarterback, the transcendent quarterback that lifts this Jaguars group up, he's got to avoid those two mistakes. He's got to avoid those kinds of plays. And talking to him, listening to him talk to other people, it seems like he understands that it's between the ears, right? It's that decision-making in crucial moments where he can make the biggest step. I have no doubts about his love of the game. I have no doubts about his physical prowess. I don't really have that many doubts about his ability mentally to dissect what's going on. But in those clutch moments, you can't make those kinds of mistakes. If he can avoid those two mistakes against Philly, they pull off the upset of the team that ended up winning the Super Bowl last year. And if he can avoid those kinds of mistakes this year with the weapons that they put around him, with the scheme that Liam Cohen is bringing in, I think we'll see Trevor Lawrence play his best football.
Let's hope so. Brian, we've just passed the 8.5-minute mark of this conversation, and it's maybe the deepest I've gone with anybody this year, not talked about Travis Hunter. So let's talk a little bit about Travis Hunter right here from, the glimpses we saw. Because, we're out there. We see a limited amount of practices. They're not showing you everything. Is there anything that surprised you one way or the other? Like, I thought he'd be a little bit more advanced in this, or maybe he's more advanced in some things than I thought, or do you just not have enough of a foundation to know those kind of things yet?
Well, we haven't seen him have to get off the jam at the line of scrimmage because they haven't been wearing pads, and that's obviously something. He is, first of all, the special athletes, and everybody who's listening to this who watched Fred Taylor and Jimmy Smith and Tony Baselli and Jalen Ramsey, you just watch them walk and you understand they move differently. And Travis Hunter is one of those guys. He looks like a thoroughbred when he moves. He's so athletic. But he's not the biggest guy at 190 pounds. So I want to see how he gets off the line of scrimmage or how the offensive staff gets him open with motion or the slot, or you're going to have to work that a little bit. But his ball skills, everyone saw the interception that went up on social media. But you could see that whether he was playing receiver or cornerback, he has elite ball skills, incredible hands. So I think those are things that we can all look forward to. The caveat that I would say with this is, and Mike, guys that come into this league that move from playing on Saturdays to playing on Sundays, it's an adjustment to becoming a professional, even for the best players. And for a guy to be one position, a receiver or a cornerback, it can take all season for him to come into his own. And now we're talking about a hybrid player, the first in the league in my lifetime, and he's going to have a lot of pressure to perform on both sides of the ball. So I personally am just taking a deep breath and giving him some room. Rookies need to make the adjustment, even elite talents like this one. So I'm going into it hopeful that we see 6 or 7 touchdowns from him and maybe 4 interceptions.
Yeah.
You get that. You get 10 big plays from him, and everybody be like, okay, here he comes, right? I just want people to be judicious in their expectations because there are going to be moments where he's going to look like a rookie.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
There will be some.
Right. I didn't mean to cut you off there. I think that's fair, right? I don't hear too many people projecting him for 12 touchdowns or whatever, and there are always going to be rabid fans that do that. Sure. But 4 interceptions would be a fantastic start to his Jaguar career on defense. Brian, I did not prep you for this, so okay. I'm going to try to I'm sure you can handle this easily. One of our listeners on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures asked, because we were referencing, CBS did a piece, top 25 moments of the last 25 years in the league. And they asked, could I ask you what you feel are the top 2 or 3 moments of your career that you got to broadcast?
Well, the biggest moment is the Jaguars beating the Denver Broncos after the 1996 season for a lot of reasons. One, that was probably the best chance for the league to see a three-peat, right? The Broncos would go on to win the next 2 Super Bowls after the Jaguars upset them in 96. But that was a great team. That was the Jaguars, if you'll remember. And I'll never forget Larry Zimmer, the longtime legendary play-by-play man of the Broncos, inviting me to come and work the sidelines for them at the Super Bowl before the game, right? And I thought, man, wow, nobody gives the Jags a chance. And, of course, afterwards, buzzing the stadium. It was an incredible moment. That's about, that I can't think of one that tops that. Beating the Steelers in the playoffs in 2007 was immense. In Pittsburgh, we did it twice that year, and then we did it again in 2017.
Right.
So those 2 years where we beat the Steelers twice in Pittsburgh in the same season, the only team to ever do it, and we've done it twice. I mean, those are at the very, very peak of the career, and probably the first time I got to go home and do a game at Arrowhead Stadium.
Nice.
Even though we have not played all that well against the Chiefs, we had some moments against them early on, and that made it fun for me.
Man, I don't know if I've ever heard you say, and maybe it just slipped my memory, that the Broncos play-by-play guy was courting you to do Super Bowl sideline before that divisional round game where the Jags knocked them out of the playoffs entirely.
I've saved that story for the book. Their producer was Julie Browman, who I went to the University of Kansas with, and she invited me in to meet Larry. And of course, I knew Larry, and he didn't mean it in any arrogant way at all. He just assumed they would win because we were a second-year expansion team, and they were the Denver Broncos, the best team in the league. And he was being very cordial. He goes, "Hey, what are you doing when we're in New Orleans? Why don't you come over? You can work the sidelines. Julie can set it up." And it clicked, just in my head. There was a moment in 1995. We played the Bears. We had just beaten the Steelers, and Wayne Larrabee, the legendary play-by-play man for the Green Bay Packers, and he was with the Bears at the time, and he said, "Boy, your team plays hard. You're not very good, but man, your team plays hard." And I remember thinking, okay, we're going to be honest in this play-by-play world here. We're going to tell people what we think. And it kind of felt like Larry and Wayne were like, "You guys, you're young, you're second year, you're not very good, but it's nice to see you." It kind of just stuck with me. So the Jaguars' record over time hasn't been good enough for me to be that arrogant.
I hear you, but that is one that I'm sure you relish the retelling of right there. And I bet like myself, a lot of Jaguar fans had not heard that from you. Brian, let's wrap it up by bringing it back to present day. Just give me one storyline we didn't mention today, something you're looking forward to watching play out in training camp.
I love that question, Mike, because I wanted to talk about Brian Thomas Jr. when you brought up Travis Hunter. And listen, Travis Hunter is a huge story. Biggest trade up in the draft in Jaguars history. Boldest move for sure. I get it. And everybody's eyes were on him in the early days when the rookies and the veterans were working together in May in OTAs. But there was a play where Brian Thomas Jr. was coming on a deep crossing route, and Travis Hunter was going underneath, and Trevor put the ball on a rope right into the hands of Brian Thomas Jr., who caught the ball with only his right leg on the ground. I say that because he somehow exploded off that one leg up the field, split the safeties, and I went, holy crap. This guy is ready to take it to an entirely different level, and he was so good last year. I think Brian Thomas Jr. is the best player on this roster, and I say that with respect for the Josh Hines-Allens and Trevor Lawrences and all those guys. There are some really talented players on this roster, but I think Brian Thomas Jr. is going to take a move towards the Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase plateau this year. I don't want to be so arrogant as to say I think he gets there, but he could. He's that talented. And what a draft pick to fall to 23rd for the Jaguars to get him. I think he is a massive storyline for this football team this year. And it's just been too easy to point to the quarterback or the offensive line that's being rebuilt or the new defensive coordinator or Travis Hunter and to forget that number 7 is a transcendent player. I'll leave you with this quick story. I was on the sidelines standing next to Jimmy Smith in the Indianapolis game, getting ready to do the halftime induction of Tom Coughlin into the pride of the Jaguars. And Jimmy, who doesn't throw compliments around about receivers, they're like manhole covers. I mean, they're pretty rare, said that guy might be as good as me. And I said, I think he might be too. And that was 5 games into his career. So I think he's a massive story.
I'm glad you brought that up, honestly. And again, didn't know that I was going to ask that. I almost asked you instead, who do you think is the best player on this roster, point blank? And it all came together right there. I agree with you. I think we should be very careful to make sure we highlight how good Brian Thomas Jr. is in our fascination with what Travis Hunter might become with this football team. Because I'm with you. I think he's already shown to be the best talent that they have. And, they got some other good ones, but he is yet to disappoint.
If Travis Hunter gets 6 touchdowns this year, it's going to be because Brian Thomas Jr. is opening things up. People are so scared of 7 that 12 is going to find room to operate. And, of course, we know how good he is.
All right. Hey, Bri, I look forward to seeing you out there in a couple weeks out at camp. Until then, enjoy the rest of your downtime. And, as always, we appreciate you spending a little time with our Jaguars Today audience.
Anytime, Mike. I'm looking forward to seeing you soon.
All right, brother. There he goes. Brian Sexton, longtime voice of the Jags. I feel like I learned something from Brian either about the current team or just a great anecdote every time we have him on, something that I hadn't heard before. And I'm pretty sure I'd never heard him talk about that, getting approached before the divisional round game. Hey, oh, by the way, when we make it to the Super Bowl, we'd love to have you as part of the broadcast crew right here. Wonder if they remember that conversation the same way Brian does. Great stuff. Always appreciate Brian stopping by. Check out all his fantastic work over at Jaguars.com. When we return, we'll take you around the league with the headlines from the 3-day weekend. We'll rip through those top 25 moments of the first 25 years of the century as well, just to get them out there. Then Dylan and I will go through our rankings in the AFC South of the quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, and offensive line rooms. That's coming up. It's your Chad and Sandy Real Estate questions of the day here on Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for my friends at Dandy Foods. You know they're locally owned and operated by the Thompson family since way back in 1956. I've talked about Dandy's products for a decade now, and personally have enjoyed them for a lot longer than that. They're the perfect go-to when you're in a hurry and you don't want the hassle of a long wait. You really can't go wrong. A pretty good value, too, compared to the drive-thru. Fast, fresh, always tasty, waiting for you in the cold case at convenience stores all over town. As a matter of fact, on the north side, the newly remodeled Circle K on Broward Road would be an excellent choice. They've got a great selection of Dandy sandwiches, whether it's the classic double cheeseburger, my favorite tuna salad wedge, a whole lot more. You'll find plenty to satisfy even the most discriminating of appetites for a fresh, quality product. There's only one name you need to know, folks. You know what that name is in Duval. It's Dandy, and they've been doing it for decades. So if you're hungry, do what I do. Go out and make yours a Dandy, and do it today.
Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios at 1010XL. Feel the roar of the Jaguars.
It's Duval right now, man. DTWD Duval till we die.
On the home of the Jaguars, 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Life is just so busy this time of year. Between work, the kids' games, family vacations, I need a yard hero to free up my weekends.
You mean somebody who does mowing and trimming?
Yeah.
How about mosquito control?
Yeah.
What about irrigation and pet waste removal?
You do that too? You're my lawn hero.
Find your lawn hero at heroeslawncare.com. Heroes Lawn Care, because every lawn needs a hero.
Football season is almost here, so before it arrives, I'm going to get my home organized. Lauren Brooks here at Closets by Design creates custom storage for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms or entertainment centers, anywhere that needs to be organized. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off with free installation. Yes, that's 40% off plus an additional 15% off during the month of July. Call 878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
Your yard starting to look a little like a jungle? Well, it might be time for a little TLC. Or how about RTC, Russell Tree Care? At Russell Tree Care, they give your trees the perfect haircut. Whether it's trimming or removing, they'll make sure your yard looks its best, all while keeping safety as a top priority. Call Russell Tree Care today and let them take care of your trees. Russell Tree Care, 844-4Mr. Wood. That's 844-467-9663. Or visit RussellTreeCareLLC.com today. Your trees will thank you.
Jaguars Today Monday is built by Dream Finders Homes.
Official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. With the weather now hot as can be, look ahead and get that backyard ready for fall with a new open air or screened-in enclosure. Maximize the space you have and make it great with Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. They truly are the best in the business. So if you have the space and the idea, give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Tell them Prosser sent you.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
It's Christmas in July at Beard's Diamonds. Why not celebrate your anniversary with a stunning eternity band or a pair of diamond stud earrings? Buy now and get up to 40% off. Don't miss this annual event. Best prices of the year store-wide. And remember, Beard's Diamonds is your local jeweler with over 4 decades of delivering the best value, the best quality, and the best overall experience. With no commission salespeople, no corporate sales quotas, and no nonsense pricing. Beard's Diamonds at the shops at Town Center. Shop local. Shop Beard's.
It's Mike Dempsey, and now's the time to get your roof hurricane ready with Apex Roofing and Contracting of Jacks Beach. Look, our rainy season is no joke, and if your roof's got damage, leaks, or it's just plain worn out, don't wait. Apex is local, dependable, and will show up on time using only premium materials with ironclad warranties. No shortcuts, no stress, just quality work you can trust. Skip the storm season scramble. Reach for the peak with Apex Roofing and Contracting in Jacks Beach or visit apexroofingfl.com.
Frank Frangie here for Coil Fencing. Jacksonville is full of memorable sports moments. Remember Hal Sutton when he famously said, "Be the right club today"? Well, that's what Coil Fencing delivers. The right fence today. And they've been delivering the right fencing for both commercial and residential properties for nearly 100 years. If you're in the market for a new fence, call Coil & Sons today at 904-356-4821 or visit coiljacks.com. That's COYLE Jacks.com.
Right now, they're on their way to disrupt your life, make you uncomfortable, and rob you. Don't bother calling the police. They can't help. That's right. Summer heat and humidity are about to attack North Florida again. You know what to do. Call Mike Merritt. Mike Merritt's Heating and Air has a license to chill. When heat and humidity are attacking you, Mike Merritt provides a comfortable chill at a bargain price. Mike has been keeping North Florida comfortable for 30 years. Mike Merritt technicians are never paid commissions, meaning you'll never be pressured to buy something you don't need. And Mike Merritt knows cooling issues can arise anytime. They don't just happen during business hours. So Mike Merritt never charges overtime fees. When you need us, we're here for you. Remember, in the fight against heat and humidity, Mike Merritt has a license to chill. Visit merrittair.com. Florida license number CACO 50384.
This is your local sports update. I'm RJ Saunders for 1010XL. This update brought to you by Southern Oak Insurance. Florida ace right-hander, Liam Peterson has made the official 26-man roster for the 2025 Collegiate National Team. As a member of the 26-man roster, Peterson will travel with Team USA to compete in the 45th USA versus Japan Collegiate All-Star Series in various locations across Japan from July 8th to the 13th. Peterson is one of 10 USA baseball alumni featured on the 2025 roster, having previously attended the Collegiate National Team training camp last summer. Florida star Walter Clayton Jr. is off to a good start in his pro career. He played 25 minutes off the bench for the Utah Jazz in their first summer league game posting 9 points and 6 assists in a win over the Sixers. 86 degrees at 11:02. Time and 10 brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
He's self-critical on his own reading comprehension skills. I didn't notice. I'd be honest with you, Dylan, when the updates go, it's a little in one ear, out the other, because I'm thinking about what we're going to talk about coming up next. But I do want to give RJ credit. There's not a lot of things to give him credit for. But in this case, I want to give him credit because he inspired our Tuesday top 5, right?
He did.
I will come up with the official wording. I'll send out a tweet later today, but we always like to give you a little prep time because we're asking you if you're going to play along to come up with 5 different things for the Chad and Sandy Real Estate question today on Tuesdays. We're going to go with top 5 moments in Jaguar history that you'd like a do-over for. Does that make sense, right? Could be anything.
Yeah, well, when things that didn't go the way you wanted it to and you wish that it would have went the other way.
With the value of hindsight, right? Oh, man, we could have done this. We could have done that. Could be all kinds of things. Could be the outcome of a game, a play, a hiring, a firing, whatever the case may be. So top 5 moments in Jaguar history you'd like a do-over for. That will be tomorrow's Tuesday top 5. Later in the week, we'll break down the defensive rankings within the AFC South. We still got to get to the offense coming up. Before we do, let's go around the league here.
Now, gems around the NFL. Brought to you by Beaches Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
Son, I thought I caught you right there. All right, Cowboys All-Pro return man, Kevontae Turpin. He is the highest paid special teamer in the National Football League. He is now facing weapons and marijuana charges.
They off the weed.
Oh, well, that's was that a Stephen A. Smith
that was
quote?
I
Yeah.
wish I had something.
I mean, if you're not going to stay off the weed, because it's illegal in a lot of places, don't drive, don't have weapons that are unregistered, whatever. Just do things the right way. When you make enough money, you can pay people to take care of some of the particulars for you. But anyway, Kevontae Turpin, it's that time of year when any news is practically bad news, right? Other than for us, we're getting, hey, look, Travis Hunter smiled at an orphanage and all the kids got adopted, right? Because his smile has the power to bridge barriers. Fortunately for us, we're not getting any of that kind of negative stuff so far in the offseason. Let's knock on wood, still got a few weeks to go. The Steelers have signed their general manager, Omar Khan, to a new 3-year deal that puts him under contract through the 2028 season, as they are not just pushing all the chips in on 2025 on him, although it seems like Pittsburgh is doing that with the acquisition of Jalen Ramsey, obviously Aaron Rodgers prior to that, Jonnu Smith. We'll see if they get a deal worked out here before training camp with TJ Watt as well. There's a woman in jail after she and a former financial advisor were accused of stealing millions of dollars from former Miami Dolphins safety Rashad Jones. It's a sad tale, man. You go back to, I don't know if you remember the stories about Fred Taylor and Tank Black. Tank Black was an unscrupulous agent back in the day, Dylan, that got into the pockets of a number of aspiring professional athletes and did them dirty financially. And then finally, following the flooding we saw in Central Texas last week, the Cowboys and Texans and the NFL Foundation have combined to contribute $1.5 million to communities impacted by that flooding. So they probably need more than that, but that's a good step in the right direction. You had some, what do we got, culture news?
Yeah, culture news revolving Stephon Diggs and Cardi B.
Oh, well, that's very important. What do you have?
Apparently, Cardi B has deleted all the pictures of Stephon Diggs off her Instagram, which means they probably broke up.
I mean, that's kind of the move nowadays, right?
Yeah, that's usually the first thing you do.
We wipe you from social is what we do.
That means a sign that the DMs are open.
Huh. Interesting. It makes me want to go check out somebody's Twitter profile and see if certain things have been wiped from that particular. Not quite. So I'll continue to monitor that one. I'll just continue to monitor. All right, let me rip through these top 25 moments. All right, and again, not going to do them justice here, but since we brought it up, we mentioned the Jags were connected to a couple of these moments in the last 25 years. These are great, memorable moments in the NFL. We already told you Saquon Barkley's backwards hurdle. Last year, Jarian Jones came in at number 25. I feel like that's almost like, hey, let's throw that kind of cute one in at the end there. I mean, it's a great play. It's a great athletic feat. Whatever.
I mean, the 10 things that I'll remember from Saquon Barkley, that might crack the top 10.
I don't know. 10 things, I'd probably remember that from Saquon.
Yeah.
You know, because it happened against this franchise. If you were a fan of the Arizona Cardinals, I don't know if you'd even realize that happened. You know, I guess if you're a Madden player, you would. All right. So anyway, Barkley's backwards hurdle comes in at 25. Here's a local connection, although not with the Jags. Tim Tebow making the list. And this is a great one, right? Tebow's walk-off to Demaryius Thomas for 80 yards in the playoffs against Pittsburgh. And, I mean, rest in peace, Demaryius Thomas. First play of overtime, went for 80, hit him on an in-cut, and Demaryius Thomas outraced the field. Great play. And there you go, Tim Tebow. Tebow Mania was at its peak, probably, as Demaryius Thomas was racing to the end zone. I don't know if Tim Tebow Mania reach any greater heights than that. That came in at 24. 23, here's a great one. The 13-second drive. You know what I'm talking about when I say the 13-second drive, Dylan?
The Chiefs.
Yeah, Chiefs and the Bills, right? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, your mind goes right to it. You know exactly what I'm talking about. 2 plays, 13 seconds after the Bills had just taken the lead to get into field goal position and send Buffalo home again in the postseason. That came in at 23. 22, Mike Vick walked it off in overtime from 46 yards.
That was an insane run.
I had to go watch that one again today. Vick just, I mean, honestly, I don't know if there's ever been a more dangerous guy in the open field. I know that's saying a lot. There's some great open field runners in the history of the National Football League. Mike Vick's speed and his contact balance just freakish, man. Golly, can he turn it on, or could. But anyway, he went 46 yards for the Falcons in overtime against Minnesota and won it on that touchdown run. Number 21 was Tom Brady unretiring in 2022, coming back to the league. These are CBS Sports rankings of the top 25 moments. Number 20 of the last 25 years. Miracle at the New Meadowlands. That's when Tom Coughlin did not want the Giants, to punt the ball to Deshaun Jackson.
And he did.
And he did anyway. And he went 65 yards for the game-winning touchdown, which capped a 21-point fourth-quarter comeback. So Tom Coughlin probably still upset about that one. Dennis Green's rant. I should have had you pull this one, right? You want to crown them? Then crown their ass. We know who they are, the Bears. That made it at 19. Is that more iconic, though, than playoffs? Like, you say playoffs like that, you know, if you just say the word playoffs, people respond, playoffs? I don't know if that's more iconic or a greater. I mean, it's a great little speech, right? And that was a regular season game. I think it was the season opener. And the Cardinals blew a 20-point lead to the Bears in that game.
I got it right here.
Yeah, what do you got?
We played them in preseason. Who the hell takes a third game in the preseason like it's bull? We played them in the third game. Everybody played 3 quarters. The Bears are who we thought they were. And that's why we took the damn field. Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
Classic.
That was pretty good. You got to admit, right? He's like, look, they had no great shakes. We saw them in the third game of the preseason. They were playing their guys. We were playing our guys. We knew we got exactly what we thought we were going to get against that team. Anyway, they got the L is what they got. Richard Sherman versus Michael Crabtree.
Yes.
Right? And that was
that 2013, 14?
2014. Yeah. And that was 4 consecutive throws from Colin Kaepernick to Michael Crabtree, Sherman defending, to win the Super Bowl, basically. And Sherman got the better of him right then. That's pretty great. Tracy Porter's pick 6 in 2010. That was against Peyton Manning for the New Orleans Saints. That was a huge play. Got no argument with that coming in at 17. We already mentioned the River City relay. Is that a better moment than the pick 6 in the Super Bowl?
No, that's just a crazy play that happened.
It's a crazy play, right? Like, okay, whatever. The Minneapolis Miracle. That was the Case Keenum to Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs getting a lot of run in the show today.
Yes.
Apparently. Not from Cardi B, but, elsewhere. Anyway, I remember that postseason because the Super Bowl was in Minnesota that year.
Yep.
Right? And I got a chance to do in front of a live audience Q&A with Case Keenum during Super Bowl week. And brother, let me tell you, you would have thought he was like Fred Taylor in Jacksonville. He was so beloved in that moment. They just couldn't get enough of the guy. Let's see. That was, I think, 14. I might have run into a Jeff Prosser problem. No, here we go. The scrolling issues on this. Brett Favre's return to Lambeau Field came in at number 13. Not going to go into all the details. All these are pretty much self-explanatory for a lot of them. And at that moment, the computer decided it had enough, which is good because we're at a break point anyway. Let me see. Can I get to the next two? It's pointless to try to scroll right now. We'll try to get to the top dozen before we get out of here today. But when we come back, we've done our own research. We don't need the computer to scroll. We're going to tell you which team and in which order the AFC South ranks among quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, and offensive linemen in our estimation. We'll do that when we return in a moment. You're listening to Jaguars Today. Mike Dempsey, Dylan Denmark here with you on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey for Pella Windows and Doors. I try to only recommend the absolute best companies. I'm so proud that I chose Pella Windows and Doors for my own home. And if I've got them in my house, you can trust my endorsement that they're going to work for you as well. Trust me. Trust Consumer Reports, who rates Pella number 1 in all the major window categories. Right now, though, trust your wallet. 0% financing for 60 months, 5 years of interest-free payments on the best windows and doors in the business. Visit the Pella showroom on Phillips Highway or check them out online at PellaJacks.com.
You can listen to 1010XL on your smart speaker.
Alexa, play 1010XL.
In fact, any speaker that plays 1010XL
1010XL
is pretty smart.
Call 904-500-COOL. Ideal Conditions.
Want to support a locally and veteran-owned company? If you need a new AC, we should be your first and only call. Ideal Conditions keeps you cool. Just ask your AC. Call 904-500-COOL or visit idealconditionsjacks.com.
Call 904-500-COOL.
Honk if you see us. Call for service.
Ideal Conditions.
Idealconditionsjacks.com.
Storms don't wait, so why should you? Protect your home and your wallet with Universal Roof and Contracting. Save 15% on roof replacements and repairs now through July 31st. And financing is available with payments as low as $115. Call 855-ROOF-HELP for your free inspection. Universal Roof and Contracting. Protecting your home, building your trust. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com.
Get ready. The Jacksonville Rock Orchestra brings to life the magic of Fleetwood Mac. Like you've never heard it before. A 27-piece symphony fused with a full rock band, performing timeless hits like Rhiannon, Dreams, and You Make Loving Fun. One night only, July 11th at the historic Florida Theater. Get tickets today at floridatheater.com.
Dreamfinders Homes Monday on Jaguars Today.
Right now, you may be running a little late, or feeling stressed, or overwhelmed, and you may be going a bit over the speed limit. So to help you relax, exhale. Ease up on the gas. You'll get there when you get there. Take a moment to just chill. This little break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
Jaguars
Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
Have you or someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI and all criminal offenses. I've been named the best DUI attorney in the state, and David has been named the best criminal defense lawyer in Jacksonville. In your battle with the justice system, there is only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins. 354-5645.
A lot of companies will tell you they're the best. At Custom Tree Surgeons, they show you every time. Custom Tree Surgeons has built an all-pro team. Every tree service professional has years of experience, continually trained and certified. They know what, when, and how to handle any job. It gets done efficiently and quickly by a team of experts. So for tree trimming, removal, stump grinding, and emergency services, forget any name other than Custom Tree Surgeons. There is no job they can't do better. Go to website CustomTreeSurgeons.com. That's CustomTreeSurgeons.com, and let them show you how the job is supposed to get done.
A judge swings a gavel and I pound the hammer. I'm not judging, just hammering. Hammer Time with Hayes Carlyon, weekdays on The Frangie Show.
On 1010XL, driven by Kia on Atlantic.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks, and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
Maxed out on credit cards, struggling with high interest debt? You could pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Prosser here. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan Program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. That's Loan Pronto. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is an A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and have nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call now and start the conversation. Go to loanpronto.com or call 999-1508. That's loanpronto.com.
Collisions happen on every play in football. Collisions also happen every day on the road. If you need auto body repair, from a $30 job to a $30,000 job, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
Frank Frangie here to tell you about the coolest new thing, a putting green in my backyard that my friends at Sunshine Turf installed. Sunshine Turf can do the same for you. They'll come to your house, they'll create a custom design for your space, and you'll have an authentic golf course experience right in your own backyard. I freaking love it. Sunshine Turf is family owned and they made the process so simple. So visit sunshineturf.info or call them at 904-383-0243 and get a free quote today for your own putting green. Get it from Sunshine Turf.
You'll always feel good when you send someone a Kuhn Flowers floral or plant arrangement. This is RJ with 1010XL, and no matter what the reason, Kuhn Flowers has always come through for me. Order online at kuhnflowers.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
Yes, I opened everything on my phone, Dylan, so I should be good to go. Scrolling along here. Somebody on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures asked, have you ever thought what would happen if China hit the grid and we had no phones? Very possible. Yeah, I have thought a lot of dystopian thoughts, just not in the middle of a radio segment.
Or a sports show.
Yeah, look, I get it. Look, if that were the case, we'd have a lot bigger issues than me not having readily available the top 12 moments from the last 25 years, which I have now, but we'll save those. We'll push those off. All right, let's go through this here. Dylan, you want to start right at the top? Dive right into it. Quarterbacks?
Oh, yes.
All right. Here, we're asking today which team in the AFC South had the best QB situation, RB, wide receiver, tight end, offensive line. All you as a respondent to one of our polls has to do is click who has the best. We're going to try to rank them 1 through 4 here. I will say this. I'll give you the poll results first. Jaguars winning this one 64%. Houston getting 32.5%. This is for the quarterback situation. 1.8% went with the Titans and 1.4% with the Colts. So 3.2% of people are trolling. Right? I think this is clearly between two teams. I'll let you start it off. How did you vote in this one, 1 through 4?
For the quarterbacks, I went Houston 1, Jacksonville 2, Indy 3, and then I went Tennessee 4. I think Cam Ward can be a good quarterback, but I don't trust the offensive line in front of him, and I don't think they have the weapons on the outside.
But that's a different question.
Right.
Right. If you took him and placed him with better protection, better weapons.
But I think whoever the Colts quarterback will have a better year because of everything around them as compared to Tennessee.
I'm very similar to you, by the way. Jacksonville running away with the poll. I would give the nod to C.J. Stroud based on the cumulative level of play for the last 2 years. Trevor Lawrence has been hurt a lot. Do I think Trevor Lawrence can top this list? Yes, but I think most people outside of the AFC South, I think the numbers would flip. There'd be people that would vote for the Jaguars quarterback situation, but I think Houston right now has to be given the nod. That's my opinion, right? I think I'm with you. I would put Indy at 3 right now because Daniel Jones has played. I mean, the upside of Anthony Richardson, I suppose, still exists, although I don't know if we're ever going to see it. Cam Ward's a total projection. Now, I feel like as the season plays out, Cam Ward's going to play better than the Indy quarterbacks are. And I think by the end of the season, this will flip 3 and 4. Hopefully we'll flip 1 and 2, but I think we'll flip 3 and 4 as well. So I went Houston, Jacksonville, Indy, and Tennessee, much like Dylan Denmark. All right, moving on to running back here, Dylan. I went with Indy at the top. By the way, Jacksonville, no surprise, winning that poll as well. Running backs, Jags getting 43% of the vote, Indy getting 41% of the vote, the Texans with 14%, and the Titans at 1.4% of the vote. I would put Indianapolis just on the strength of Jonathan Taylor alone at the top of this list. You know, he is going to clear the top running back on any team in this division, I think, rather handily, quite frankly. And I would give the edge to Houston as of now over Jacksonville for second place as well. Joe Mixon had a really good year last year. He's getting older. Well, Travis Etienne may be younger, but he did not have a good year last year. And yes, we've got Tank Bigsby, and we've got the promise of Bajal Tutin and LaKent Allen, but they did add Nick Chubb to the backfield there. I don't know if he's got much left at all. This is one I think, again, Jacksonville can overtake Houston as the season plays out, but I got to put Joe Mixon and company ahead of them in the second spot. I will take Jacksonville's collection over the Tony Pollard, Tyjae Spears pairing in Tennessee, but I don't know how much separation is there as well. I think you can make the argument that Tony Pollard could be the single best running back on either one of those teams. I like the fact that the Jags have a number of options that I think they're going to be able to turn to throughout the course of the year. What do you got?
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor, to me, the only thing that holds him back is injuries, obviously. By far the best running back in the division, and so the Colts get a one spot for me. And Khalil Herbert's still a decent backup. So, you know, when you talk about the room, he's included in that as well. The Texans are at number 2, so same as you, Joe Mixon, Nick Chubb, and Dameon Pierce. It's weird. Warren Sharp put this out. This was off of ESPN. NFL execs, coaches, and scouts ranked the top 10 running backs in all for this year. Mm-hmm. And Joe Mixon was 9. And Warren Sharp, you know, he does a lot of analytics. And Joe Mixon was like last on like almost a lot of these running back rankings when it comes to explosiveness, running backs in success, stuff rate, yards per carry. Like not even the top 32 in any of those stats I just said, which is weird because I feel like he still had a good year. I know he missed a couple weeks. But when Mixon came back, like that offense was a lot different.
Well, and he did it behind arguably the worst offensive line in the entire National Football League. Yeah. So I think that factors in as well. Again, these are fluid, but going into the season, I give the edge to Houston over Jacksonville. All right, wide receiver should be a fairly easy one here. By the way, in our poll today, Jags getting 94.3% of the vote at wide receiver. The Texans getting 5.6%. That's all the votes. All right, Dylan, what order do you have your 4 teams?
All right, if I had to pick one receiver room, I put Houston on my list at 1, but now I'm saying Jacksonville. I feel like I'd much rather have Brian Thomas Jr. over Nico. And so I'll say Jacksonville 1, Houston 2, Indy 3, and then Tennessee at 4. Tennessee's got a lot of Tyler Lockett, end of his career, Van Jefferson, DK, the guy that drafted in the 4th round.
Yeah, you get behind Ridley, and it's not a very impressive group in Tennessee there. I had Jacksonville at the top, and I don't put necessarily Brian Thomas light years ahead of Nico Collins. Let's keep in mind, when Nico Collins was leading the league in receiving, when he got hurt like 5 weeks in the season last year, he was having a terrific year as well. Very explosive playmaker. Let's call them a wash. Even if you give Brian Thomas the edge, I don't think there's a huge gulf at the moment. Maybe that gulf grows throughout the season. Maybe it doesn't. You start to look through it. You know, you got Jaden Higgins and Jalen Noel there, a couple of rookies. We have Travis Hunter. Who's the more highly acclaimed rookie?
Travis Hunter.
Right. I mean, Travis Hunter, everyone said, would have been the first wide receiver taken if he had just declared that he was only going to play wide receiver in the National Football League. You get into then Christian Kirk versus De'Ami Brown. I'd probably give the edge to Kirk if he can stay healthy. But again, and then you have Parker Washington. Jalen Noel, what's he going to be as the 4th receiver for Houston? I think these are closer than Jaguar fans would like to think based on the disparity in the poll. But I do give the Jags the overall edge here, and some of it is a projection that De'Ami Brown is going to carry his strong play from the offseason into training camp, into the preseason, and, of course, into the regular season when it really matters. I think Indy was an easy choice over Tennessee with Michael Pittman Jr. and Josh Downs in there. I don't think either one of them rises to the level of Brian Thomas or Nico Collins. So, and I do put a little importance on having that alpha wide receiver because, as Brian Sexton talked about, you have the trickle-down effect and the impact on the other guys. But Alec Pierce is a good deep threat. We don't know about Adonai Mitchell yet, but he's only going into his 2nd year as a 2nd-round pick, so there's some hope there. Again, Tennessee beyond Calvin Ridley. You mentioned a couple of veterans. Van Jefferson, nothing special at this stage of his career. Tyler Lockett is an aging guy who, you know, has been a really solid player throughout his NFL career, and better than solid at times, but I think his best times are behind him now. All right, we're on to tight end. This is interesting because there's a lot of projecting going on in the tight end room. I think when it comes down to Jacksonville and Tennessee, who I have in the last 2 spots here, it's kind of like, what are you looking for? I think if you're looking for an athletic specimen who could be the biggest impact receiver in those tight end rooms, I think Chigga Conquo might be that guy, but I'm hoping that Brenton Strange can be the all-around tight end that proves to be a little bit better. So I have Jacksonville nudging them out, but I have Indy at the top of the list. And again, big projection on Tyler Warren. You still have Mo Alley Cox there as well, and he's another big athletic specimen at the top of the list. You start getting into the 3rd and 4th tight ends, and none of those guys are going to make a massive impact. I went with Houston at number 2, Dylan, because I think Dalton Schultz is more of a proven receiving option, and they still do have some intriguing guys. Cade Stover played with C.J. Stroud at Ohio State. He's on that depth chart. Brevin Jordan at this point is probably never going to be much of an impact player. He's been in the league 4 years now. But Luke Lachey was a guy we had some interest in during mock draft season, and he's on that depth chart as well. So I think that collection puts them clear of the Jaguars. So I go Indianapolis, Houston, Jacksonville, Tennessee. What do you got?
I went Indianapolis 1. I put the Jacksonville tight end room at 2, projecting. I put Schultz at 3, and then I put Chigga Conquo at 4. I thought his numbers the last 2 years aren't as impressive as I thought it was. Last 2 years,
no, he flashes.
50 catches, 500 yards, and a touchdown. That's pretty much what he's done.
Right.
And I feel like Brent Strange, at minimum, is going to get 600 yards, about 60 catches this year. And then Schultz he's just another decent guy. He's not going to flash, but he'll give you 6 and 60 every week, 6 catches, 60 yards. So I kind of had him down there as well.
All right, so your final, it was Indy, Jacksonville, Houston, Tennessee for
Correct.
you. All right, so we flip-flopped 2 and 3. Final one is offensive line. Dylan, this is the one in the poll, which, by the way, let me give you the tight end rankings. Jags winning the tight end poll 43%. Colts get 34%, 16% for the Texans. So basically, again, the Jags at the top, otherwise following kind of what we've done. Offensive line is the one poll the Jags are not leading in right now, and that goes to the Colts with nearly 50% of the vote. Jags getting 30%, 12% to the Texans, 9% for Tennessee. Dylan, I'll let you go first on this because we've been alternating. What's the order you have them in on O-line?
I went Indianapolis at number 1. They returned 3 of the 5 offensive linemen. Quentin Nelson, although he started his career really well, I still think he's one of the better offensive linemen in the league and especially in the division. I went Houston 2. I know that's a far stretch considering that they lost 4 offensive linemen to, they traded one guy, Larry Tunsil, to Washington. They didn't. I think it was more of he had 1 year left on his contract. They didn't want to extend him, so they got rid of him. They cut a couple of guys, and so they're kind of in the same spot as Jacksonville. So I gave the Houston the nod over Jacksonville. Houston 2, Jacksonville 3, and then I put Tennessee at 4.
Okay.
I just don't think Tennessee can do much on offense this year, much like last year.
All right, for me, Indy number 1 in this category. Again, there's a lot of projection here. You won't find a consensus group of rankings in the AFC South that doesn't have Indy as the top unit. By the way, Indy sometimes comes in somewhere around 10 to 12, okay? Most of the other offensive lines are ranked deep into the 20s or into the 30s, which obviously is not good. There's, again, bit of a projection, and I think we know what Jacksonville has done a lot better than what these other teams have done because we talk about it all the time. But I do have the Jags tentatively at number 2 in there. I think they've got good options and good depth at the tackle positions that if there is open competition, may the best man win out, hopefully raises the level of play. We might see 4 new starters here on the offensive line this year. We'll certainly see Macari and Hainsey in there. Maybe Wyatt Milam pushes for a starting job throughout training camp. So, but to me, it's a competition between Jacksonville and Tennessee for that second spot. You could put Jacksonville second, you could put them third. I'm really surprised you've got Houston as high as you do because I could not find a set of offensive line rankings that didn't consider them the worst offensive line in the entire National Football League last year. And now you come in, you bring in Cam Robinson, who's basically a Jaguars cast-off at this point in time. Didn't stick around in Minnesota. There's nobody that really stands out to me on that offensive line, and I think that it's an area, especially with the subtraction of Tunsil, that this is an area you can really get after this team, and it's going to be incumbent on the Jags pass rush to take advantage of what we hope will be, at least on paper, a bit of a mismatch. So for me, Indy, Jacksonville, although I can flip them with Tennessee, I don't feel that strongly about 2 versus 3. You can call them both tied at 2 if you want to. Houston in last place for me. The interesting thing in this, and that'll lead into next segment's 10-10 take, Indianapolis, in my rankings, topped at offensive line, tight end, and running back. Should we be talking about the Colts more as a dangerous team in the AFC South? We'll discuss that in the final 10 minutes or so of the show. Still plenty of time for you to vote at MD_1010XL on Twitter in our 5 polls today, asking you just simply who is the best unit, which team has the best unit at each of those 5 position groups on offense. Mike Dempsey and Dylan Denmark back to wrap this one up. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today. You're at the home of the Jaguars in the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Door Studios. Superior products, exceptional service.
First of all, congratulations on the show.
Join the 1010XL Podcast Network.
How do you like being in a real studio?
Now you can find all your favorite 1010XL podcasts in your platform of choice.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Hey, it's Frank Frangie. Look, when it comes to glass needs around the home, there's one name I trust, Lee and Kate's. It's local, family-owned, and they've been part of our community since 1926. They've taken great care of me over the years, and I know they'll do the same for you. Visit leeandkatesglass.com.
With Lee and Kate's Glass, you're gonna see a big difference.
Lucas Tree Service is a certified arborist and a local family-owned business with over 45 years of experience. They specialize in tree removal, trimming, and stump grinding for both residential and commercial properties. Get prepared for storm season and receive top-notch customer service from Lucas Tree Service, 904-241-3533. Online at lucastreeservice.com.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
Jaguars Today. You're settled into a Dream Finders Homes Monday.
Brian Wall here. Would you take your paycheck, go to the bank, cash it, and then simply throw it up in the air? I didn't think so. But in a way, over the years, that is exactly what you're doing if you have old or builder-grade windows in your home. Even if you have a brand new home, those windows are not the best windows you can have to save on your energy bills. Window World has sold millions of replacement windows to homeowners like you, and Window World's customer satisfaction is the highest in the business. Please check Window World out yourself and save on your new windows and on your energy bills. Compare with other companies and you'll see Window World is simply the best for less. It's up to you. You can call Window World and get a free estimate, get the best guarantee in the window replacement business, save money on your new windows, and save more on your energy bills. Call Window World today at 904-443-7001 or go online to windowworldneflorida.com. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
Dick's Deal Days are happening now. You won't want to miss our biggest sale of the summer. Scorecard members earn a $20 bonus reward on your purchase of $150 or more. Plus, 3 days of amazing savings start Tuesday. Check out offers from brands like Nike, Adidas, Hoka, and Stanley. And check back daily for new one-day deals Tuesday through Thursday. Score the season's hottest savings before they're gone on July 10th. Shop in the app and on Dicks.com. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Your home is more than walls and a roof. It's where you breathe, drink, and power through life. At Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to keep it all running smoothly. From clean, cool air to clean water, reliable power to expert plumbing, we do it all. For over 35 years, families have trusted Donovan to make their homes healthier, safer, and more comfortable. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing today, 904-270-COOL, where health meets home.
Don't miss the Bari Breakdown with Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime, Wednesdays around 3:20 for the latest in sports injuries. From all the big names in the game, who's MIA, who's coming back from injury. Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime, Wednesdays at 3:20.
It's ET here, and did you know that slow speed accidents can still cause serious injuries? Ignoring minor pain today can mean big problems tomorrow. Don't wait. Call my guys at McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation Center, the auto accident experts.
Summertime is busy with graduation parties, summer barbecues, festivities, family gatherings. The month of July, National Carpet Cleaning Month. So Zero Res is offering $45 per room of carpet clean and 20% off air duct cleaning services as well. Schedule your appointment at ZeroResJacksonville.com or call them 287-5727 and ask for the 1010XL special. Zero Res, spelled backwards or forwards, it spells the same. Zero Res.
Zero Res.
Hacker here, and guess what my scale reads? 195 pounds. I'm shocked seeing that number, but it's there every month. The weight is staying off after dropping 122 pounds. Absolutely life-changing. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Football season is almost here, so before it arrives, I'm going to get my home organized. Lauren Brooks here, Closets by Design creates custom storage for every space, lifestyle, and budget. From closets to garages to laundry rooms or entertainment centers. Anywhere that needs to be organized. Call today to schedule a free in-home consultation and receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off with free installation. Yes, that's 40% off plus an additional 15% off during the month of July. Call 878-9393 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental with light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, 2 locations in Jacksonville.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555, Jacksonville. Now, the Cool Down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
All right, crazy quote I saw this morning has nothing to do with Jaguars football, but I'll share it anyway. Dylan and I were just talking about it on the break. The Chicago Bulls go 72-10, was like 98, right? One of their 10 losses late in the season by 1 point to Toronto. And the story is that the Bulls all went out the night before in Toronto and were hung over the next day, or the Raptors never would have beaten them. And so Damon Stoudemire, who played with the Raptors at the time, was like, oh, yeah, it's true they did all go out the night before, but here's the part they're not telling you. We were out with them. Like, all our guys were out with them as well, because low-key, Toronto was like the favorite city for players to go to, because the players could go out on the town and no one would recognize them. And I'm just calling like major BS right now. Anywhere you go, like all of a sudden, here's like 7 guys who are 6'6" or taller walking together. A, are you a basketball team? Right? Or how about B, this was 6 years after the Dream Team, Dylan.
And this is 95-96, so this is...
Was that the year?
Yeah,
95-96?
So they had already won a 3-peat. Michael Jordan had retired and then came back.
They had the Dream Team in Barcelona in 92, and they couldn't go anywhere. Now, granted, that was all the top guys, but you tell me, like Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Tony Kukoc, and those guys were not recognized in Toronto? That just seems crazy to me. Anyway, maybe they were left alone, but to go unrecognized kind of defies believability. All right, let's get to today's 10-10 take.
10-10
take.
Now, Mike Dempsey's 10-10 take is serviced by Ideal Conditions Heating and Air, your go-to local HVAC company, veteran owned and operated.
All right, if you doubt the importance of the quarterback position in the National Football League, you shouldn't. All right, it's common sense anyway. You know, the better quarterbacks generally lead to more wins. Now, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. The teams to get more wins, you start to elevate in your mind how good their quarterback situations are. But I'm not saying what we did today in our rankings is gospel, but I don't think it's going to be that far off from what you would find, Dylan, nationally. And here we go in the AFC South. We're saying Indianapolis has 3 of the best 5 rooms on offense. Running back, tight end, offensive line. But they're on that 3-4 line at quarterback. Maybe they're 3 simply because Daniel Jones has some experience playing in the National Football League and Cam Ward hasn't had much of a chance to show what he can do. Hasn't had any chance, really, to show what he can do. But I'm sure you'll find someone out there picking the Colts as a dark horse or 2. But you don't hear much buzz about this being one of the teams. And maybe it should be. And plus, we haven't gone through defense and special teams and all that. But Houston, seen as the top contender. If we have them with the best quarterback room based on recent play. Jacksonville right behind them, the biggest challenger to them because of the quarterback room. And again, you go right on down the line. Jacksonville only wins in one category. Houston only wins in one category. That category happens to be quarterback. They are the favorite. Now they're the defending AFC South champs, right? So again, it just, to me, goes to show if the power of the quarterback room, if you gave Indy C.J. Stroud, would we look at Indianapolis, flip the quarterback rooms between Houston and Indianapolis? Would we consider Indianapolis the biggest threat to win the AFC South? I think we might.
Without question.
Right?
And people would be talking about Indy as a threat to be in that bubble with Buffalo and Baltimore.
I think we'd be talking about Houston has a very good defense, but man, they have a terrible offensive line, and whether it's Daniel Jones or Anthony Richardson, they better be glad they have them both because they're just going to get hurt on a regular basis behind that O-line.
I mean, the NFL has became – I mean, look at last year. Every team that won the division won because they had the best quarterback in the division by and large. Matthew Stafford had a good year. They won the division. Obviously, Mahomes, Lamar, and Josh Allen, C.J. Stroud, and then the NFC. Baker Mayfield was the best in his division. Every one almost.
Right. I mean, you got Joe Burrow had a great year, but Lamar was MVP level. So, anyway. All right. So, again, that was really just as I was going through, I'm like, really? Is Indy this good? Are they this good? Well, not really. And, so much of it has to do with the signal caller. It really does. All right. Cut it off at 13 in the countdown of the top 25 moments, according to CBS. You can go check this out at your leisure. Here are the top 12 moments of the last 25 years, according to CBS Sports in the NFL. Devin Hester opening up the 2007 Super Bowl, was that Super Bowl 51, with a kickoff return for a touchdown. I was at that game. That was in Miami. That came in at 12. At 11, Odell Beckham's one-handed catch with the three fingers, which let me see you do that without the glove, that base, like the scuba glove. Aaron Rodgers' Hail Mary in 2016 for the Packers. In fact, he had two of them in a row on that drive. Jeff Janis caught one around midfield, actually about the opponent's 40-yard line. And after getting backed up 5 yards on the final play, Rodgers hit Janis again to pull that game within striking distance. They didn't win it. Philly special, so I guess that's got a belated Jacksonville connection with Nick Foles scoring the touchdown in the Super Bowl. That came in at 9. The Music City Miracle, that return. Wycheck to Kevin Dyson on the final play that put Tennessee past Buffalo. And who knows? If Buffalo wins that game, maybe the Jags are Super Bowl champs in 99, right? They wouldn't have had to play Tennessee. At 7 was 1 yard short, which makes us very happy. We all know what that is. Same guy, Kevin Dyson, involved in that. Malcolm Butler's interception at the goal line in the Super Bowl in 2015 at number 6. And your top 5, Santonio Holmes' game-winning touchdown for Pittsburgh against Arizona in the Super Bowl. Same game. And number 4, James Harrison's pick 6, weaving through like 59 people. It's unbelievable with zeros on the clock. Just push them out of bounds. Beastquake by Marshawn Lynch in the 2011 playoffs, that run against New Orleans. The top 2 moments, Brady's 28-3 comeback for the Patriots in the Super Bowl. And, of course, the David Tyree helmet catch coming in at number 1 to knock off the undefeated New England Patriots. So there you have it. CBS Sports, you can go through it at your leisure. Maybe Helmets and Heels will take a peek. I don't know. Let's find out what they're going to do.
Now, the 2-minute drill on 1010XL.
All right, Lauren Brooks, hello. Good morning. Happy new week.
Yes. Hope you had a great 4th.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
And, I feel like, lots of Jaguars connections in that list because you've got Tom Coughlin and then you've got Doug Peterson.
There is Tom Coughlin. There is Doug Peterson, right. But the two actual Jaguar connections are like, we let a guy hurdle us backwards and we let a team run it back on a lateral play at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Fortunately, they missed the extra point,
Yeah.
Let's earn our spots, please, in the next 25.
That would be nice.
It would be nice.
Yeah.
Who knows?
2017, it's funny. It feels like yesterday at times when it comes to Jaguars football, and it also feels like so long ago.
I mean, but you think about it, the 28-3 comeback in the Super Bowl, I get it. It's a Super Bowl.
For sure.
All that. The Jags' comeback against the Chargers in the playoffs is not a better moment than Saquon Barkley's one individual play where he leaves, or Dennis Green saying, "You want to crown the Bears and crown their ass." I mean, really?
Yeah, do you think maybe because Trevor threw 4 interceptions in the first half?
That makes it even better, though.
I think so, but is that why people look their nose down upon it?
He dug the hole, and then he helped fill it in to climb out.
It was so much fun being in the press box that night. Normally, the press box is not a great environment, right? Because you have to be quiet. There's no cheering allowed. But I will say there was a lot of juice in the press box that night. Those Chargers media people were getting so mad in the second half.
Well, when we're doing now, I do my pre and post game stuff over at the Miller Electric Center, but we were up until last year, we were in the stadium, and you could feel the stadium shaking.
Oh, absolutely.
On not many occasions in the last 15 years, but that was right at the top of the list. So what's coming up today for Helmets and Heels?
Well, we're going to get into the 5 most explosive Jacksonville Jaguars, and then we'll take a look around the AFC South and kind of compare and contrast and see just how explosive they are when it comes to the rest of the division. So similarly to how y'all have been discussing stuff around the division.
All right. I just put about 7 names right in my head. We'll see how it comes out.
Ooh, okay.
On how, well, I'm not saying they're the league leading explosiveness, but
sure.
for this team.
But for this division and then, for this team, interesting to look.
Excellent.
Obviously, other divisions, you'd have way more explosive players. This division, that's why it's one of the worst in all of football.
I don't care. You know what? Let's make enough explosive plays. Let's just win the damn division, get in the playoffs, and roll the dice from there and see what happens. You know?
I'm ready for another playoff season, Mike.
I'm ready for a home playoff
to work until
game.
January.
Yeah, I'm
deep in January, maybe February.
We've had enough time off. It's time to go.
Not your show for sure.
Hey, easy now. I'm here. What do you want? All right. Have a great show.
Just teasing. Thank you so much.
It's okay. I can take it. All right. I can take it. Lauren Brooks, we didn't put you on the screen. You didn't get shown. For all you know, you're not even here. If you're watching YouTube, you missed the best part of that conversation. That was Lauren Brooks. All right. That'll do it for us. Again, tomorrow, what do we say? How do we describe it, Dylan? 5 Jaguar moments that you'd like a do-over on, right? Top 5 moments that you wish you could have a do-over on in Jaguar history. All right? We'll see what you come up with tomorrow, and we'll let you know what we came up with as well. That'll do it for us. Tony Smith has the week off. For Dylan Denmark, I'm Mike Dempsey. We'll be back at it again tomorrow from 10 to noon. Thanks to Brian Sexton, by the way, senior correspondent at Jaguars.com, for joining the program this morning. Stick around for Helmets and Heels on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Maxwell House coffee will live on forever.
Not just a friend.